Okay, let's try this again. Do do do. Oh no, wrong one. There we go. I'm assuming all these comments are from the last thing. Thanks for the follow, somebody. I think I have her sorted now. But I'm very pissed off at my computer. Not sure what the deal is. Pull this back up. But yeah, it's my computer is definitely. I mean, it's more than strong enough to run my stream, but I've been having fucking issues the last couple streams. I thought I had it fixed, but it does not seem to be the case. Can't get your Twitch to work? It's not showing the live for me? It should be now. Well, I wasn't live until just now. I just went live. Just showed up on my own. There we go. Back. Yeah, so I downscaled, but I got it. I don't know. I think after I get off today, I'm just gonna fucking watch tutorial videos until I figure out exactly the settings. Because for a while there, I don't know what the hell I did differently. Because at first, man, I could run all kinds of shit, have 10, 15 different tabs open, and everything would be fine. Now it wants to act stupid and drop frames. And then I thought I had it fixed. I fucked around with some computer settings. Like, I'm not really, I was a full-time truck driver until a year ago. I'm not exactly the most tech-savvy guy. I'm self-taught on how to edit, do anything with computers, all that jazz. So, it's a process for me. But my computer's only running at, 30, 20, I don't know, 20-ish%, but it kept fucking lagging. So, yeah, there's that. And somebody followed or subscribed while I was off, so thank you for that. And yeah, but we're back. So let's get back into it, and I'll quit bitching about my computer issues. Anywho. So yeah, where were we? Go back on the schmice. I saw Steven Crowder at an Antifa meeting. What? YouTube is censoring me? Yeah, damn right they are. YouTube is actually censoring me in a way. Not really, but kind of. They don't share my content with any of my subscribers. People tell me all the time that they can never they never get my stuff. Even people like that are signed up to my Patreon that watch my content all the time. One of the guys in my Discord messaged me like a week ago. He's like, I finally got recommended one of your videos, and he's been, like one of my patrons for 2-3 months. So like he watches my content regularly. I don't know, whatever. Maybe you need to clear some. I did all that. I cleared everything out. I do that regularly. That's why I've been trying to figure this out for the last couple streams, because I've been having issues where I wasn't having issues before, and I don't know what exactly it is. Maybe if I like fucked with the setting I shouldn't have, or I don't know. But I'm trying to, get through it, and I don't know, but it's pissing me off. I know that. Anyway, so let's continue watching this shit
posting
show.
This video.
Yeah, and while you guys are here, if you could like the stream again, even though you probably already liked the last one, like it again, damn it, because, it's a nice thing you can do. And, if you like the content, don't do it because you don't want to. Just don't do it out of peer pressure. Just do it, because you want to.
For my crew, my friends, there's a lot of supporters I have here, and there's a few skeptics.
Yeah, Sasha, exactly. I never get notifications that you're live, yeah. And you literally come to every single one of my live streams. You're a moderator in my chat, and you don't get notifications. Like, YouTube hates me. I don't know why. I don't know why YouTube hates me, but they do.
It's okay. I still love you. I'll hold your light. Okay? Because, yes, March 4th is coming. That was a date.
He's right about those two things. March 4th is coming, and it is a date. I mean, fact check that, liberal.
Was put down by, allegedly, John F. Kennedy, who previously was John F. Kennedy Jr. Since his dad is dead, he is JFK. He has been posting. Is it him? We don't know. I believe it is, because I've followed this trail for 2 years. With Q and everyone. It's all lining up. Okay?
I mean, I don't know about that, man.
He's posting. He said, watch OAN, One America News Network, March 4th. At
Q's just Jack Posobiec trying to boost up the ratings on OAN.
6:45 p.m. Eastern Time of America. Okay? He said on his Telegram, which now has been deleted.
Hold on 1 second. Did you guys hear about the Trump Hotel jacking up the prices for March 4th? Like, well, I mean, if you're gonna grift, you might as well make money off of it. I kind of respect them for being so out front about it. Hold on here. Can't do two things at once. I'm sorry. I'm trying to watch over there, but it's giving me trouble. Are you talking about on Twitch? It's fine on my end. Live now, impeachment. Yeah, well, this is kind of impeachment. It's a little bit of everything. We were watching impeachment. We'll go back to impeachment in a minute here. But hold on, give me 1 second. So many pictures. Okay, and I'm back. So, anywho, all right, let's see what else he's got to go with. Yeah, then after this, we'll go back to impeachment.
Weird. You're weird. More deletion of free speech of someone who's not even confirmed to be JFK. What are you scared of? What are they scared of, people? Okay, he said to watch it March 4th. He also said that executions will be happening on March 5th.
It generally scares me how bloodthirsty these people are. They are just fucking wet and just so excited over possible executions on March 5th. That I mean, I don't ever want to hear that Q is not is some peaceful movement when the whole thing they're rallying around right now is people in our government being strung up in front of the White House and hung by the military on March 5th. Like, that's their whole driving force keeping them going right now.
That's a big statement.
Hey, that's something.
And I'm really looking forward to it. But for the record, because
really looking forward to it. He's really looking forward to that.
You know, what you're seeing in the news is I feel just kind of like a movie. It really doesn't mean anything because those are private networks that can post whatever they want. I could sit here and tell you I'm the president of the United States. It'd be the same exact thing. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, kind of. Yes.
Sure, maybe I should become the president of the United States. We need an Islander in there, right? Right, Q? He said on his Telegram, which now has been deleted, weird. You're weird. More deletion of free speech of someone who's not even confirmed to be JFK. What are you scared of? See what happens. That's a big statement. That's a real news network that I trust.
I mean, you might trust it, but OAN's not a real news network. It's just propaganda. State-run, or just Russian propped up propaganda, by the way. The guy that founded, one of the founders of OAN has something to do with Sputnik. Not exactly sure how that works, but they tried to sue Rachel Maddow when she brought that up, and she just won a lawsuit over it. So clearly it's true.
You watch the press conferences, you see them with Trump actually asking real questions and not trying to set him up. One American News Network. It's new. They are ran and owned by John Solomon. Pretty good guy. I've seen his interviews and stuff.
Solid dude. Yeah,
there's nothing else to say. But I still love everyone out there. I hope you still love me.
Just not the liberals or the people you want to see executed. I'm assuming you don't love them.
For expressing my freedom of speech and my own thoughts on my own social media page.
You know what's funny? When I first saw this guy's video, I thought his name was Liberal Sean. I'm like, what? That doesn't add up. But I didn't realize it was Libra. Libera. I don't know. Yeah. But I thought it said liberal at first when I first read it.
Some of you guys get crazy offensive. And I think it's something internal with you. And I think it's good that we have these conversations because that stuff gets out. I don't think a lot of people are aware of what they're actually saying when they try to attack somebody. You
Says the guy who just said he can't wait for the military to hang people on March 5th.
Realize that's a projection. See what happens.
I think that's it. That guy. Impeachment. Let's see what's going on with the impeachment.
Identifying and prosecuting those persons who committed those offenses. And I commend the FBI and the District of Columbia Police.
I like the pinstripes. I mean, that's a good.
And the other agencies for their work.
Okay.
It's natural to recoil.
Now, so that's good.
It's an immediate thing. It comes over you without your ability to stop it. The desire for retribution. Who caused this awful thing?
I think they're going to attack again March 4th. It's possible. I don't know. I don't know. I think people aren't too high alert in Washington. I don't think anything else will happen now. They basically caught, I mean, now that Biden's in office, I don't think he's going to let anything like that happen. They're going to be on full alert. But, you know, everything was kind of set up perfectly for that to happen on March 6th. I mean, that it was that ridiculously easy to bust into the Capitol on such a, important day where we're basically, certifying the transfer of power is ridiculous. It only happens if really people are just asleep at the wheel. Either they're A, asleep at the wheel, or B, they wanted it to happen, or C, a little bit of both. You know what I mean? Because I don't think it was like a completely planned event. Did people kind of not give a fuck, and were they asleep the last couple weeks of their job when they all knew they were going to get fired? Yeah, maybe.
How do we make them pay? We recognize in the law, and I know many of you are lawyers, probably lawyers, some of you, I've been a lawyer 35 years, longer than me. Many longer than me, probably. And we know we have a specific body of law that deals.
The only thing I'm really interested in the impeachment. Well, I mean, I'm a little interested in it, but I want to see if they call witnesses or things like that. As far as constitutional arguments over whether it's, arguments over whether it's constitutional or not. I kind of said that backwards. I think that's pretty much settled, and I think the Republicans are just extremely reaching on that. So I don't find that too interesting. But I tell you what I do find interesting. Somebody put this in the Discord, or this guy's channel, with over 500,000 subscribers. And it is a doozy. Oh, first we got to watch this. Hold on.
Assignments, but in my opinion,
we won't watch the whole interview, but you got to watch the sign-off of this Newsmax interview with Marjorie Taylor Greene. It might be the cringiest thing I've ever seen. And that's a big statement. As our buddy on TikTok there said, it's a big statement, but this might be the cringiest shit I've ever seen. It's right at the end here.
tell us a little bit more about what you meant.
Yes, of course. I'm serving of, and there wouldn't be babies aborted in the womb, and then every foster child or orphan would have a home. And then more than that, we wouldn't be having people representing us in Congress.
Remember, Marjorie Taylor Greene's not one of the elites from her fucking third office, where she does her media over here. Look at this house. She's just like us, guys.
Congress, that decade after decade, they cling to power, but do nothing but destroy our country.
Yeah.
It's time for the church to wake up.
It's a circle jerk over the Constitution if there's no witnesses. Yeah, true. I kind of agree. I can only watch constitutional debates for so long. I'm too ADD to watch
stop
that
just
shit.
Thinking that their job is to just go to church 1 hour a day, but it's actually to step up and boldly declare your faith, share the gospel, and then truly live it and be the hands and feet of Jesus.
God.
I'm sorry. I have to fact check you. I caught you in a doozy. You said a little while ago that you're just a regular person. Oh. And I just don't think that's the case. You're absolutely extraordinary.
Oh,
and very impressive to watch you, what you're doing. And I wish you luck and I wish you safety. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, many thanks.
God, the cringe.
Thank you, Greg.
All right, all the best.
Is that not the cringiest shit you ever seen in your life? I gotta fact check you on that one, Marjorie. You said you're a regular person. No, you're a very special one. Like, oh my God, Jesus, these people, man. How? Wow. This is a grown-ass man acting like that. Huh. You're a special one, Marjorie. You're gonna jack our ratings up, and I'm gonna love it. Yeah. Oh man, that's just the cringe.
We'll be right back.
Yeah. We gotta.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg.
Jesus, so loud. We gotta cover Newsmax a little bit more. They're starting to be pretty interesting, especially I mean, really, they're not that far off from Fox News anymore. So, I mean, they're pretty big time in the conservative sphere. So we might have to give them a little more attention. Goes to church 1 hour a day. Fact, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if she might go to church an hour a day, but who cares? You're a horrible racist piece of garbage who pushes anti-Semitic conspiracies, and I mean, could you imagine it? I'm pretty sure there's a guy that swore on a comic book to go into office. Can you imagine her chasing that guy down to make him swear on a Bible? No, but she took time out of her week, went to DC from Georgia where she lived, to drive up there to run around Congress and try to get Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib to swear on a Bible and film the whole thing because she was proud of it. I mean, this is a ridiculous human being. So, I mean, but he is right about one thing. She's not just like us because she's loaded and has time to do dumb shit like that while the rest of us try to pay bills.
And the Illuminati have been.
But this channel, man, a call for an uprising. Somebody put it in the Discord. I watched a few of the like parts of a couple videos, but it's some conspiracy trash. But it's interesting for sure. Yeah, he puts out a lot of videos, and I'm just it blows my mind how many subs these people have, and how YouTube just pushes this shit out. But then you talk about it or you try and fact check it, and you get hit with demonetization, or they don't show your videos. It's ridiculous. All right, so but it starts with a little cartoon. I don't know. You just gotta watch. I can't explain it.
Been controlling our reality since the beginning of time, but not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is A call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. You might remember this guy, Harry Styles. I covered him maybe a few weeks ago. He's he's from One Direction. Now he's being force-fed. He's hosting Saturday Night Live. He's all over the place. You see this guy. And I showed you the tattoo markings on his body, which show his affiliation to the occult, from bird cages, all the same crap that we see,
Let me see
right?
if I can find the other
Pyramids
video.
and all that nonsense.
If you've ever had
Well, he was on Howard Stern, and listen to what he had to say about running into...
Stop talking. There was one with...
If you've ever had this feeling.
Stop talking. There was one with Conan O'Brien skit. That was just absolutely hilarious. Hold on, let me find it here. But this is more not so this is kind of Q adjacent stuff. Not so much like full on Q. This guy talks about like Illuminati, but he still talks about like the, child sacrifice and everything's a coded message, blah 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 blah. Yada yada yada. I'll just pull it up from the Discord because I can't find it here. But yeah, if you guys ever see like an interesting video or a TikTok or whatever, I have a channel on my Discord where you can put stuff that you want me to check out on stream, or just something you think would be interesting to go over. But that's where somebody put this in the Discord.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I want everybody out there to take a look at this. If this isn't enough proof that we...
Like, this is just... What this is just Conan doing a bit with this guy, because that's what people on late night TV do. I don't know if everyone knows this, but late night TV is the most structured shit in the world. Like, these conversations aren't, just free flowing. They are basically set up stand-up comedy routines. Like, they know exactly what they want to talk about. They rehearse it. Everything's for the most part, is just all set up beforehand. So this guy basically thinks that these guys are kind of outing themselves. I don't know, it's pretty funny.
We are rattling their cages. They are so desperate that they have to go on these shows and deflect. And you can hear the silence in the audience. Because the audience is so dumbed down, they don't understand what they're seeing. This is their way of trying to make sure that the audience, if they ever do come across my channel or others, or come across the fact that this is all really going on, that they have these seeds planted in their heads so they dismiss it. That's what they're doing. Now, most of you probably remember the video I did on Will Ferrell with Chris Gethard, that satanic ritual they performed. One of the more disturbing things you'll see anywhere, especially when they try to deem it in the name of comedy. And this is him going on Conan O'Brien. Listen to how he deflects and talks about this. I apologize in advance for the choppiness of the clip, but for people who seem to think this is a big joke, they sure go out of their way to block us from uploading these clips. So I had to add the pitch, make it a little higher, make it black and white, real annoying stuff, but I had to do it to get it through so it wasn't blocked in all countries like it was saying it was going to be. So take a look at this.
I think
And that's just not true. He did not have to do all this. I share media clips all the time. 99.9% of them, as long as you don't just straight up just show the whole clip and you actually add commentary and, whatever, it's fair use. So they're not going to block this in all countries just because he showed a clip, as long as he provides, commentary or something like that. Or people there's plenty of channels that are just highlights of other people's streams. Hassan Piker's had issues with that because it actually falls under fair use. People taking his clips and just sharing them on their channels. I don't know what this guy's talking about. Like, I had to do all this crazy deceptive editing. Like, no, he did this to make it look scarier, Like, he could have turned the saturation up a little bit if he wanted to do that. But no, he made the whole fucking thing weird.
First of all, I think he's the funniest man on the planet, Will Ferrell. Yeah. And so, what a great thing that he's producing your show. How involved is he?
He really looks out for us. He comes on the show from time to time. He actually was on 3 weeks ago, and we did a bit that I was really proud of because it really spiraled. I'm the first to admit it went a little too far. It was very, very confusing. He came on, he was our executive producer. He's like, we got to get these numbers up, man. Right. Like, let's drive these numbers through the roof. What do we got to do to get more eyes on this thing? And we wound up doing this, like, almost like pseudo ayahuasca ceremony where he was wearing robes and antlers and he made me drink this sacred tea.
He's like a druid and he's doing like an invocation to get more people to watch the show.
Yeah, almost like an occult ceremony, but it was all fake. People rubbed blood on me and dirt on me, and then I was birthed out of a 6-foot-tall vagina. And it was really, I really loved it.
Where did you find a 6-foot-tall vagina?
We built it.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. Okay, yeah, all right.
I've never heard of vagina referred to in its tallness.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. And it was just like this dumb bit we did.
But Will also commits so much.
So hard.
So fully to things.
1,000%.
Right. Did you, at any point were you thinking, what am I doing?
Just FYI, they're talking about a bit, like a comedy bit they did. Like, and Chris's show, like there was, you know, conspiracy chatter kind of rattling around the internet about it. He talks about it later in this clip. So it was kind of like a bit to kind of play into that, I believe. This whole idea that like, oh, they're outing themselves as the Illuminati because they are addicted to symbolism is just dumb. Like if I just feel like maybe if people were doing that, they wouldn't advertise it to the world. But that's what they're talking about.
While this is all happening?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it ended with him making me suckle from his teeth while he rubbed my head. It was so weird. It was so weird. And I'm so proud of it. And the thing I'm most proud of, I'm so proud of it. And the thing I'm most proud of is that this is totally true. There's all these like online conspiracy websites and like subreddits, and they have latched onto this thing and analyzed it and made videos analyzing it. And they say that my show on True TV is like a hub for a Hollywood satanic ring. And they really believe it. And they're saying Will Ferrell is involved.
This is kind of right when, this came out May 2nd, 2018. So this is kind of right when Q started kind of percolating a little bit. It had been around 4 or 5 months, but it wasn't really full on, like they hadn't really combined like Pizzagate with Q at that point, because I don't know, Q was it was still trying to figure out kind of what it was. It was Q infancy kind of, but they kind of latched onto this stuff full on. You know, this was when Q was still Mueller's a white hat. He's working with Trump. The Mueller investigation is going to round up everybody, and that was what Q was. And Q was working with Mueller, who was working with Trump. Yada yada yada. Goalpost moved. You guys know where it went. But yeah, so they didn't really latch onto this as much.
Involved in all this Satanism, and my show is where celebrities go to spread their satanic messages, which I am flattered that they think my show is that popular.
Yeah.
They're going to say you're a part of it. Because you're talking to me, they're going to say you're both a part of it now. And they're right. And you're right. The conspiracy theorists, you're right. These guys are a big part of all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And they're going to deny it right now. But I came here today to spread the truth. Andy in particular, he's really locked in on this satanic stuff.
No, I'm not.
Why would he deny it? Why would he deny it?
Not. I'm just not.
He worships the goat. He worships the goat. Everybody knows.
It's so funny to me because, you know, these like this guy that runs this channel, he's just he absolutely hates the media and stuff, and he's just constantly searching for clips of comedians doing bits about, you know, some kind of joke or what, you know, like just fucking around, or little weird little weird symbols in movies, and that's what these people look for all day long, is a way to be like, ha, you see, that means that it's all real. It's like, well, I don't know, man. Seems like maybe they're doing a bit. Nope. They admit it. They outed themselves on live TV. Like, I don't know, bro. Seems like a long reach you got there. But that's what like 95% of this stuff is. So I can just see them like on their computer all day, like scouring, like, I know it's here somewhere. Best of Conan 2017. Let's go through every video.
It's the worst kept secret in Hollywood. Andy Richter, satanic goat worshiper.
And then he does all this like editing to it.
Boy, I mean, I knew we were rattling their cages, but this is just more confirmation that people such as myself, they are watching. They are watching. People, I know that, and I'm not saying that from a narcissistic standpoint, you know? I'm not a prideful person. I don't think I'm...
Look at Will Ferrell. I don't know. Maybe he's onto something here. He's looking kind of sus there.
You know, I'm better than anyone else. I don't think that this channel is better than any other channel out there. But I know that they fear me because what they try to do is use mind control on people, and it doesn't work on me. You see, they do stuff like satanic panic they talk about, right? Oh, the satanic panic. Everybody out there's panicking. Who's panicking? Do I sound like I'm panicking? Satanic panic. I'm licking my chops for a shot at some of these Satanists.
Licking his chops. I'm not panicking, bro. I'm not panicking. I'm just searching through clips of Conan O'Brien all day long to try to find, you know, evidence of a satanic ritual, but I'm not panicking.
Licking my chops, waiting for the day. You think I'm scared because they put on cloaks and they do this to kids? That's give me more rage to punt their heads to kingdom come. They fear you, the listener. They fear me. And guess what? Other truth channels who are listening, they fear you as well. They are using deflection and comedy so much that they don't know how ridiculous they're starting to sound. You hear him here go, oh boy, there's this crazy dark web of the internet and Reddit forums. They're talking about this channel because that video that I did had hundreds of thousands of views on this channel, I believe, and Fire Rises combined. They blocked it from ad revenue, like that. They think I care, but they try to also block it from people seeing it. I think other channels picked up on it after my video, which is fine by me. I don't need credit for it. I want the truth out there. But this is what they're talking about. They're talking about me. They're talking about you. And then they're going, oh, there's these crazy people that think there's this big satanic cult. And Conan O'Brien's like, oh, isn't that weird? Oh, and this is Conan O'Brien a couple years ago hosting the MTV Video Awards. I guess this is a big joke too, right?
Here's another one.
Killed. Welcome to the Satanic Cult Awards, ladies and gentlemen.
Shit.
All hail the Dark Lord.
Hail Satan.
Oh, is that more deflecting?
What is he deflecting from? It's just a joke, man. Oh God. Like, I just, are we not allowed to make jokes about like Satan and the devil and stuff and just, is that not funny? I've said that a million times about different things. I'm not in any satanic cult. Of course, try telling them that. And then they always show this, I don't know. It is kind of weird to have like all, but this is just rich people shit. Oh, let's all show up in our fancy white clothes and have fancy dinners. And you know, these people are loaded, so that's what they do.
You know, for people who say that Satan's not real, that Satan doesn't exist, they sure talk about him a lot. They sure put on a lot of mock rituals out there. But again, oh, Conan O'Brien, he's a good church boy. Oh yeah, we're not supposed to believe that any of these people are in on it. But what they
I don't know, but I feel like out of all the people in Hollywood, Conan O'Brien's a pretty solid guy. I mean, he's like the type of guy I'd want to have a beer with. You know what I mean? Like he seems like a genuine person. Out of all the late night shows, his is the only one. Well, I don't know. I kind of like Stephen Colbert just because of the probably Seth Meyers probably be my favorite, but it just is like far as comedy goes, Conan's the best. He's not very political though, so I tend to go towards more like the Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers, just for like the interviews. But as far as comedy, like nobody beats Conan. Conan's the best.
They do is they try to take it and they go, oh man, you know, there's a cult going on at the Chris Gethard show. No, nobody said that. Listen to my video. Cult going on at the Chris Gethard show.
You kind of did.
I said that it was a ritual, at the very least a mock ritual.
I love Satan.
But there's not a cult going on there because everybody in Hollywood is in on the cult. You see, your show isn't important. Those of you guys in Hollywood who seek ratings and seek fame by forcing yourselves on.
Those of you that seek ratings and seek fame, says the YouTuber who seeks clicks and likes. It's the same thing, bro. Okay? Don't act like you're not out here shilling just like everybody else. Embrace your shill, okay? It's just what it is. Part of the bit. Like, we're all shilling out here. By the way, while you guys are here, if you could like the stream, I'd really appreciate it. And also subscribe on Twitch, you know, if you want to. Just saying, you can do it. You get emojis.
And all of these big outlets like Comedy Central and NBC and all these stations, you're being force-fed to the people. Nobody really likes you. People are forced to listen to you.
Yes.
Chris Gethard, this channel gets more views than your show. That's pretty.
Yes, everybody's being force-fed Conan O'Brien. He hasn't just had, 20 years of staying power because he's just an unfunny asshole. He's just being force-fed. That's why he's still around.
Pathetic being that I record this from my basement on a laptop. Pretty sad, right? And I'm not getting force-fed on anybody. So again, they try to use comedy like that to say, oh man, they think that there is a big conspiracy going on. All of these people in Hollywood are all a part of it. You didn't hear Chris Gethard mention the fact that he did a skit earlier in the night with Will Ferrell talking about babies and pizza. That must be a coincidence too. There was no code word or referencing there. I mean, give me a break. Correct. If you're blind, you didn't see that. And if you haven't seen that video, go watch it. It's on my channel. Go watch it and watch.
Sounds like y'all worship the devil. May God bless you and this channel. I'm not particularly impressed with this channel. We'll pray for all of your lost souls. All right, that's cool. I mean, hail Satan, I guess. Hail Satan.
Watch how ridiculous these people are. And for Conan O'Brien, who rumor has it, which we all know is a true rumor, hosted at Bohemian Grove or gave a speech at Bohemian Grove a few years ago, and then pretends like he doesn't know what it is, but then pretends like, hey, welcome to MTV Music Awards. Let's all worship the Dark Lord. I mean, boy, they say this stuff and people don't laugh. Like, who in the audience is like, and Conan O'Brien goes, let's worship the Dark Lord. And people are like, people are just smiling because they don't know what's going on because they're zombies. And they're like, hey, it's Conan O'Brien. I'm supposed to laugh, right? Because the sign above my head says laugh box. Yeah. And then you get Chris Gethard here, who, I mean, if you research this guy, you can see some of his stand-up skits talking about how he got.
I don't really know this guy very well. I think I've seen like one or two of his comedy sets, but I don't know much about him. Apparently he eats children though, so I mean, that's not good.
Married at a Jewish summer camp. I almost said a sewage camp. That would be a little fitting, right? A Jewish summer camp.
Oh, and there goes the anti-Semitism. Jesus.
Or something like that is where he got married. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he could follow that would be satanic, I mean, maybe he follows a certain book that talks about this stuff. It talks, all this.
Why does it always turn into the Jews are bad? You can't even make it through a 13-minute video without it's the Jews, man. It can't do it. They just can't do it.
Stuff that you're seeing revealed on his show with children and pizza. Yeah. So I wanted to show everyone out there this. This is the kind of stuff that should pump you up. This shouldn't discourage you. This should make you go, you know what? For the people in my life who say I'm crazy, for the attacks you're probably under from people bugging you, this is them nervous as possibly or as anyone possibly can be, because they are bringing up Satanism and the occult over and over. They're not just showing you rituals and then saying it's not real or it's a big joke. They're getting nervous because they're getting caught, right? And they obviously.
All right, well, yeah, this is what he was doing in 2018, but he's still pumping them out.
If you've ever had this feeling,
the latest batch of conspiracies is that, you know, the Super Bowl was filled with Illuminati symbols, or at least that's the thing coming from him. I haven't seen too much of that in the Q world, but apparently, I don't know, the weekends, like I don't know, I wasn't like the Super Bowl halftime was whatever. Go Bucks, by the way. Not the Vikings winning, but I'll take it. You know, I grew up in Tampa, but apparently his whole halftime performance was like some big long thing he'd been building up for a month, and with all his like videos and appearances. But I don't really follow his music, so I didn't know any of that. But I don't. But apparently, according to these people, it was filled with Illuminati symbols. Or whatever,
if you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in,
I love this,
but you couldn't
intro,
figure out just what it
great.
was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. It's the Super Bowl, a day that is, well, known for propaganda. I mean, this is the biggest day of the year for the elites to push agendas across the television set through propaganda and commercials, through agendas. And of course, through what always happens every single year, the halftime show, which is filled with Illuminati propaganda, symbols.
He put $8 million of his own money into it? You're talking about The Weeknd? Put $8 million of his money into it?
Signs, occult symbols, sigils, you name it. It's there. We've seen it with Coldplay, with the Love Movement. We've seen it with Madonna, with the Baphomet. You name the year, it's happened, and it will happen this year, I guarantee it. They have The Weeknd playing
Tom Brady's part
the Super Bowl this
DC.
weekend, or today, I should say. And who knows who else will pop up. So I will be covering the Super Bowl and the commercials as well as I do every year. I just want you to know that it won't be on the channel you're listening to this video on.
What is going on here? Jesus. Yeah, this guy has 3 channels, by the way.
Will be on the channel linked below, and trust me, you'll
no one cares.
Of propaganda, information, you know, millions of dollars. They just want to make sure everybody gets the jab because whatever else. This channel is on YouTube where there'll be new videos.
Holy fuck,
things
man.
you can't do on YouTube.
You
just can't. You can't share links. People don't realize down to a T as far as you can do on, a hamburger or something. Like-minded people, so check that out. But make sure up here, okay? And when you click the link, make sure you click the subscribe.
Thing is an ad,
which is pretty competitive, but not everybody sees every video feed. It'll be filled up with other videos from other channels that you watch. So I just want to keep reminding people of that.
This
but
10-minute
the Weeknd's
video,
performing. I don't know if this guy's got a new face or not.
5 minutes
people were
of
sending me
is an ad.
that he got like plastic surgery. I don't know if it was just for a music video he did, or if it's real life. It was absolutely frightening. Not sure. Pepsi, of course, is sponsoring the halftime show in addition to the jab. I wonder if they'll even do.
My guy.
I wonder if there'll be some message of, peace, love, and unity as always. Togetherness, one, right? Those are the common themes we always hear at the Super Bowl and with these people. And look, there's so much stuff going on in the world right now. So much stuff. It's hard to even keep up, but I want to make sure that I continue to expose.
Apparently this had something to do with like how Hollywood like sucks you in and then makes you get all this plastic surgery and unrealistic beauty standards. It was some kind of like deep performance art thing with this whole deal here. And then there was I saw a good I saw a good explanation of it on TikTok, but I didn't know anything about it. I thought it was like an okay kind of halftime show. definitely seen better. Prince's was better, that's for sure.
The signs and the symbols, as well as many other things, because it's a great starting point to waking people up who are sound asleep. They start seeing repetitions and patterns. It starts opening their mind up to what is actually happening, and then they realize that there are people in control. There are people doing this.
Get to the Illuminati symbols.
The liberals, I don't even know what to call them anymore. They're just so stupid. I don't even know. People who are anti-conspiracy, I guess, who trust in Big Brother. They're socialists.
The stupid anti-conspiracy people. That's what we are now, guys. We're the stupid anti-conspiracy people. That's what it's come to.
For the most part, right? They want Big Brother to come and wipe their butt for them and feed them and pat them on the back and tell them everything's going to be okay. They're weak people.
Weak.
Pretty much, right? Weak people.
Sheep.
They need to be complimented all the time. They're the ones who go after people for hate speech.
One love.
Because they're so soft. Yet they do the same thing to others, like hypocrites. Okay? Those are the people who are calling upon and begging for the Jabberoo and trying to go after.
What the fuck is a Jabberoo? I remember a Jabberwock. That was what is that from Alice in Wonderland? What's a Jabberoo? Does anybody know what a Jabberoo is? Is that some conspiracy lingo I don't know?
People such as myself and many others who are skeptical of these things. But
criticize.
Again, the signs and the symbols are extremely important.
Commentary.
People make fun of that stuff. They're like, oh, look, they're trolling you. And that was the point I was making about the soft cupcake socialist liberals, is that they actually think that these celebrities are going on magazine covers, like these pictures you see, where they're all doing these symbols, and they're doing it to troll.
Is that Rob Blagojevich? Wasn't he ever? No, he was a Democrat, wasn't he?
People like me. Like,
don't be going after my girl Haley Williams now. The fuck?
Videos on my own. Okay. I mean, right? These people are billionaires, millionaires, and they're like, yeah, let's troll a call for an uprising. Let's troll some other truth channels on YouTube that no one's ever heard of. I mean, give me a break. You're talking about from Bono to Beyonce to Jay-Z.
Okay, that makes sense.
And you think that they're actually just doing this stuff to troll us? Give me an utter break. So there'll be tons of that. And again, make sure those videos are going to be on my other channel. So make sure you subscribe there. And if you haven't, definitely check out the website. It is well worth it. You will definitely enjoy it. And I hope to see you guys over there. So get ready. The ride is going to...
No, this fucking guy. The whole thing's an ad. I've never been so let down by conspiracy propaganda in my life.
If you've ever had this feeling that something...
Obviously, they're putting it out in the open, so they would expect to get caught, but they wouldn't expect as many people to sound,
All right. Let's see. What else was there to... Oh, you guys want to see... So here's Peter Navarro. You wonder how these conspiracies grow so fast on the right, and you got idiots like this pushing stuff. This guy worked in the White House, and he says dumb shit like this.
Now, here's the news behind the news. Bill Barr, President Trump's Attorney General, actually turns out to be also Joe Biden's first Attorney General, because here was what was happening. We had over 30 executive orders queued after Election Day, ready to go, but we kept running into all these roadblocks and hurdles. It turns out that Bill Barr's Office of Legal Counsel was fast-tracking all of these Biden EOs, and basically it was a deep state coup. Now, this has implications, Maria. I'll tell you about it. Now, here's the...
I mean, he's basically pushing the Shadow Prez conspiracy in a way. And just like a highbrow Shadow Prez conspiracy, saying that it deep state coup and Bill Barr is actually he's Biden's first attorney general or Biden's first attorney general because we had all these EOs ready to go and this and that, and like you wonder, like these people are long-standing members of the Republican Party. This shit would have took hold way long time ago had it not been for like people I don't agree with, but I think at least decent enough humans as the front face of the Republican Party. You know, Mitt Romney and John McCain, I don't particularly like, but I don't think they won't fully buy in on conspiracy bullshit, and they didn't, just to win an election. Trump was the first one to really just completely own that, and not only own it, but push it in order to gather votes. And then Fox News and everybody bought in on it because it was pushing up their ratings, and now they're having to deal with the fallout. Now they either have to go all in or they lose their voters and they lose states. I mean, that's why they lost Georgia. They lost Georgia because, well, two reasons, I think. One, the Dems were able to say $2,000 checks, and that was one of the big reasons. But the other reason is because they basically memed themselves into having everybody believe that the election was rigged. Like, they pushed all these conspiracies, and it made people so upset that they're like, well, I'm not even going to vote if the election's already rigged. And that lost them a state like Georgia. I mean, two Democratic senators in Georgia. I mean, that's just unbelievable. If you would have asked me on November 3rd, I would have said there's no way they're going to win both. Maybe they'll win one, just because Loeffler's such a shit candidate. But there's no way that I thought John Ossoff was going to beat David Perdue. But they basically memed that into existence. Okay, but what? Oh, I know what I want to look up. You guys remember the Target lady? See if I can find it here. Oh. You guys remember? Yeah, you guys remember the Target Karen lady? She's a reformed QAnoner now. I had the interval pulled up, but I clicked off of it. See if I can find it again. Murder. I wish it were snowing here. Shit, you can have some of our snow, dude. Damn. It's been snowing like a sumbitch here. Cold, snowing. Just ridiculous. I hate this time of year. Like, I'm fine with cold weather, but, I mean, this is a little too damn cold. CNN interviews former QAnoner Target Karen. That's not the interview. Yeah, but this is this lady. She's like reformed now. She went to like therapy and shit, I think. That's... Yeah, here it is.
An Arizona woman says last year she became brainwashed by QAnon's conspiracy theories, which led to this scene she made in Target at a display of face masks.
I've been looking forward to this all my life. So, Target, I'm not playing anymore. This all over. This
That video went viral.
Like she's going hardcore there. That's committing to the belief. I just how do you get so angry at a mask rack? Oh, fuck these masks, and you just go in Target and you just start destroying shit.
And her long fall down the QAnon rabbit hole nearly cost her her marriage and her career. Joining us now is that woman, Melissa Ryan Lively. Melissa, what a story. Oh, my gosh. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Melissa, what was happening in that video that we were seeing where you were destroying that rack of face masks? What were you trying to accomplish?
Now, I don't know if she's, trying to grift here, but I think she's at least reformed. And I think these videos are good of like this lady and the other lady, the TikTok lady who's was on CNN talking about how she is reformed. I think it's good for people like this to come out and like tell their story and kind of talk about how they turned it around, so other people that are kind of on the fence can see that people have kind of reformed, and they've been able to be reaccepted by their friend group or by their loved ones. I think that's always a good thing. I don't know how sincere she is. I haven't watched this interview or anything, but
Good morning. Thank you
it's
so
always a
much
good
for
thing.
having me. I had really lost all touch with reality. It was the worst day of my life. I was having a complete mental break. And really what had happened was I had fallen down the QAnon rabbit hole and fell hard, and just lost it. I was completely triggered.
And after that moment, you then went home. You were still irrational, so much so that your husband called the police. We have some video of that too. You were just spouting crazy theories when the police showed up. You were clearly in distress, and they ended up having to take you in, for a mental evaluation, and I believe to a mental hospital. And so how did this happen, Melissa, that you fell so far down the conspiracy rabbit hole?
I really became all consumed in the QAnon conspiracy theories because of a mix of fear, anxiety, depression, uncertainty, inconsistency with the information coming out about the pandemic. I felt terrified. I was losing my business. I was watching people around me lose their business. I felt hopeless. I didn't know what to do. So I went to the internet. It started innocently enough, kind of poking around on spirituality and wellness and new age pages that, are just things that I'm interested in anyway. And then, as soon as the algorithm hooked me in, it really only took a matter of weeks until I was in this terrifying echo chamber that really, completely changed the way that I think and the way that I processed information. And what people saw happen in my garage that day, truly with my husband, who's my absolute best friend, is an ultimate act of love and selfless service.
Now, those of you that come to the, streams frequently or watch my content, it's like, I'm sure you've seen it before. It's amazing how many of these people's stories are they kind of line up the same. I was stressed out over the pandemic. I was, losing faith in this or that, or, I was looking for answers. I went to my wellness community or this community or that community, which a lot of these communities are like adjacent to QAnon now. Like these, new age fitness, yoga, spiritual, anti-vax, all these different kind of things kind of one leads to the other, and then bam, before you know it, you're talking about satanic cabals. But, this lady kind of went down the same thing. And in a couple weeks, after seeing, this post and that post, and then before you know it, you're watching 3-hour long crazy YouTube videos, and you're full on, you're attacking the mask aisle in Target. It just that quick. And it's like all these people seemed, for the most part, there's some that are, have been with it from day one, but a lot of these people that you see now, in a matter of weeks after the pandemic, they just got snapped up like that, and they were fully in on it. And it, it's like the new blood seems to be like the craziest of the most diehard, I guess you would say. And it's definitely an interesting like case study in how quickly people can just latch on to something, and especially when you have a community of people, and just how like the internet just kind of rallies up these mobs, and just kind of, and with the way the algorithms work, you like one thing, it pushes you towards something more, and it just mass shares it, and it just really gasses these people up to where in a couple weeks they are full blown down the rabbit hole, and they have a whole bunch of people backing them up that believe the same thing. And it's scary
for another person, because he had to make a very difficult choice that day, to save my life. He had given me an ultimatum, it's this family, or QAnon. And because I had become so obsessed with it, the Save the Children messaging spoke so deeply to who I am as a person, and I just couldn't put it aside. It ruined me, and it really had a significant impact on my mental health.
And as you say, I mean, your husband tried everything to pull you out, calling the police, as we see there in that video of you in your garage. That was one of his, that was just one of the things that he tried. I mean, he really tried to pull you out. And as you say, the algorithm hooked you in. And so you got into this kind of pattern of doom scrolling and fear scrolling, and it just feeds on itself. And so what happened, Melissa? How did you break the spell?
Well, I had to make, a very serious decision for my health and my family. And that, was voluntarily, seeking mental health treatment.
And this is just another, it just goes to show again, like, this lady's clearly pretty well off. And in the video, the original Target video, she's bragging about having a $40,000 Rolex. So clearly she's very well off. So again, this isn't just, crazy conspiracy people. Like, this is touching people of all shapes, colors, sizes. It doesn't discriminate, that's for sure. And this lady's probably a millionaire. She's got a $40,000 wallet, and she fell for it just as easily as the lady in South Carolina who's, working class.
And I went and I did a PTSD and trauma program, which was really ultimately what I was dealing with. And I was exacerbating the situation and some previous trauma and emotional stuff that, I had failed to deal with in my life. And I had to make the conscious choice to go and get help for that, and I invested myself into that program. I continue to go to therapy and slowly but surely, work to rebuild my life back. And I wrote a book about it. And I was really committed to helping other people escape from this, because I really believe that it's a cult. It operates like a cult in every single way. And people don't realize that they're being consumed by QAnon until it's too late.
And before we get to your advice for other people, if you hadn't gotten out, would you have been one of the people that we saw at the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol? Did you know that was happening? Were you planning to go there?
I wasn't aware of it back in July, when everything happened with me, and I've been on the road to recovery since last July. But I will say, it is incredibly scary how quickly people become radicalized and violent, as they kind of continue down the rabbit hole and lose trust with, other people and our institutions and the government and so on and so forth. And they feel compelled to take matters into their own hands. I sort of see my Target situation as my Capitol moment. I don't think I would have been at the Capitol, thank God, because my family did intervene, but, the damage had already been done, with the whole Target situation. But it's frightening, and I think that's the reason.
And again, a lot of people don't have the resources she does, you know what I mean? Because she's clearly well off. She can go to therapy for months and months and talk about all the reasons why she got into this and how it, she can deal with it differently than a lot of other people who don't have the means to go to therapy for months and months. So that's an advantage she has that a lot of other people don't. And it's, while it's easier maybe for her to get out, it's not so easy for other people, especially if everyone they know or everyone they're around or share a community with online are involved in the same damn thing.
That my husband, felt so compelled to involve the police that day is because I am such a peace-loving, sensitive person. And, I even got radicalized quickly to the point that I was destructive, I was violent, I was angry, I was defensive. So it is very, very frightening when you see a large amount of people attack, our government institution like our Capitol. It was very upsetting for me to see because I know exactly how it happened.
Oh, my gosh. And so, Melissa, what is your advice to other people who may have a family member or friends who have fallen into QAnon?
You know, I speak to people every day, family members who say, what advice can you give my friend? Can you talk to my loved one, my sister, my mother? And it's heartbreaking. It gives me chills just thinking about it, because I know that these people have to be empowered to make the conscious choice to leave the cult themselves. The more that people, berate them, call them names, call them stupid, laugh at them, mock them, they are just going to dig their heels in harder and become more isolated, more scared, and more alone. So my advice is to love these people, understand these people, try to come to even ground and reason with them as best you can, find things, common ground, things that you can agree on, and start there, and really try to isolate what their fears are and what's motivating the irrational behavior and obsession with QAnon, because what you'll probably find out, it is motivated by fear, distrust, uncertainty, not necessarily hatred, not necessarily destruction. But these people can be helped, but they have to be empowered to do so.
Wow, that is such good advice. I mean,
true. I agree with a lot of that. Yeah, I think it just media education, man. We need more. People need more resources on how to figure out what, or just, there needs to be more education on media literacy. How to determine what is a good source and what is not. And not every source has to be, liberal or conservative. It's not even about that. You can have leanings and stuff, but disinformation is disinformation no matter what side it's coming from. So I mean, we need to have more education on that front. We check back in on the impeachment. He has like a wooden face. You guys are mean. We're up to like what, 1.5 million vaccines per day. I feel like that. I think 10% of the population has been vaccinated now. So we're that's a pretty good start. I mean, it was the goal was a million. The goal was 100 million vaccines in 100 days. Or 100 million vaccines in 100 days. And so that's basically 50 million people, or kind of how you look at it, because it takes 2 shots. So that's basically 50 million people or 100 million people with 1 shot. I don't know, however you want to calculate it. But now the last week or so, we've been doing 1.5 million per day. So, and that's pretty good. And I feel, because I feel like Biden kind of lowballed it, so he could overperform. Or it kind of seems like what he was trying to do. So I think we're on good track with that. And I hope my hope, I think if all goes well by August, September, everything should be back to normal as far as everybody vaccinated, everything good to go. Back out, going to bars, living life normally. I think that would be not best case scenario, but I think the most likely scenario if things go well. No Shannon, South Florida in my particularly hot mess. Ron DeSantis, he's been on one lately. I don't know what with the. Did you guys see that they tried to poison the water down there? Or some hackers did? But I mean, that's not Ron DeSantis, but Florida's been on one, man. That's for sure.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bob Gualtieri, Pinellas County Sheriff, and with me is Eric Seidel, who's the mayor of the city of Oldsmar, and Al Braithwaite, who's...
Yeah, but okay, let's see if we can just pull it up real quick. Florida water treatment plant broken into by hackers. Yeah. Basically the gist of it. Hacker broke into Florida water treatment plant and attempted to increase amount of chemical found in drain cleaner to dangerous levels. Oldsmar treatment facility near Tampa. Oh, that's in oh shit. Tampa was hacked into twice on Friday. An operator noticed the mouse on the screen moving at 8 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. System can be accessed remotely by supervisors, but operators saw a problem. The hacker increased the amount of sodium hydroxide, also known as Lyle chemical, LYE, I don't know what it's called. The chemical went from 100 parts per million to 11,100 parts per million. The breach at 1:30 p.m. was detected immediately, and the increase was reversed. It would have taken 24 to 36 hours to change the chemicals in the water supply. The public was never at risk, but police are looking into how the hack happened. I mean, I'm glad nothing. I mean, but that's kind of scary that you can just hack into some shit like that. Feel like more needs to be done about that. And then Ron DeSantis is trying to implement some bullshit law about social media companies basically telling private companies what they can and cannot do is what it amounts to. Anyway, let's check back in the impeachment.
To judgment. On the day following the January 6th riot, the House leadership cynically sensed a political opportunity to score points against the outgoing then-President Trump, and the Speaker demanded that Vice President Pence invoke the 25th Amendment, threatening immediate impeachment for the President if Mr. Pence did not comply with this extraordinary and extraordinarily wrong demand. 4 days later, on January 11th, 2021, the instant article of impeachment was introduced in the House. Speaker Pelosi then gave the Vice President another ultimatum, threatening to begin impeachment proceedings within 24 hours if he did not comply. Vice President Pence rejected Speaker Pelosi's demand, favoring instead adherence to the Constitution and the best interests of the nation over a politically motivated threat. On January 12th, Speaker Pelosi announced who the 9 impeachment managers would be. And on January 13th, 2021, just days after holding a press conference to announce the launching of an inquiry, the House adopted the article of impeachment, completing the fastest impeachment.
Okay, I don't know. That one's not really holding my attention. I don't know how much you guys have followed the career of Tulsi Gabbard, but I used to be a big fan of Tulsi. But I don't know what has happened in the last year or so, but she has just gone completely 180. I don't know, she's like she's almost like a Tim Pool type. I'll back up. Maybe not that bad, but she's turned into this lefty who constantly shits on the left, and she goes on all these right-wing platforms and is constantly shitting on people on the left. And she did an interview with Steven Crowder, and a lot of people are calling it cringe. I haven't watched it, but let's check it out. And Steven Crowder is just god-awful human, so. This one. Yeah, Tulsi, okay.
I've never. No, he didn't. Well, he didn't do that.
It's not even honest.
Hey, why are you trying to break us apart, man? Speed dial for
Who thinks this is comedy?
Yeah, covered Donald Mail by the first time recruiting armies of poll workers. Armies of poll workers, which on its face sounds crappy enough, but it seems increasingly like how.
I still can't believe that all these guys are talking about this Time magazine article like it's anything that matters. Like it's anything that she's exposing anything like some grand revelation. Like it's not politics that goes on every single day. Oh, they recruited people to work at the polls. Yeah, that's a thing that happens. They want to make sure they have enough poll workers. Because one side said they were going to have a bunch of gun packing poll watchers, and they wanted to have enough people to work the polls in case some shit got out of hand. Yeah. So one side was recruiting people to work the polls. The other side was recruiting people with guns to watch the polls. So I don't know. Which one's worse in that situation?
Oh, did that? But they did.
Tim Pool made the same stupid point about, they recruited poll workers.
A shot landed. Well, no,
Okay.
It's a right. Vietnam. He was.
Christ.
I'm sorry about
Why
that,
the
but
fuck
thank
is
you
he-
for your
why
service.
is
I also
he-
like that your hats
this
are a little
guy
bit tattered. Do they come that
wearing
way?
his
Yeah.
gun fucking thing.
Clyde?
We'll do it.
Yeah.
Why do you support BDS? Why do you support BDS?
Yeah. She almost, when she says the horrifying things, I almost, with her, I give her the credit where there seems.
Yes, BDS is so bad, but the lady who said the plane didn't fly into the Pentagon, like, there we go.
See, I'm very glad. Hold on, I think we maybe need to adjust. All right. Representative Gabbard, what do you prefer? Congresswoman Gabbard, Representative Gabbard, Z.
Tulsi's great. Tulsi's great.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Finally.
Tulsi, I'm very glad. Hold on, I think we maybe need to adjust the audio a little bit. So let me let people know that you're launching a new podcast.
Just FYI, Steven Crowder has been one of the biggest pushers of all the voting fraud conspiracies. He's a known homophobe. It just everything. It just like unfunny, racist garbage. I don't even know why Tulsi would even go on with this guy. I think that alone. I mean, even Dave Rubin is better than this guy. I mean, this guy's just a total hack, just garbage person. I don't even know why you would even give Steven Crowder the time of day. But she did. So
Soon, this is Tulsi Gabbard, and I assume that's available wherever podcasts are, like Apple and Android
right.
and
Promote that
Spotify.
podcast, I guess.
Okay.
Yep.
You gonna get that $100 million deal that Joe Rogan?
No.
No. Well, you know what?
I just
Maybe
put that out there.
after this, you might sell some, Nature Box or Simply Safe. So you can make some money in the private sector. Now, Tulsi, we've wanted to have you on the show for a while. And you wanted, but you didn't come on the show. Is that because it's me, or is it just you were busy, or just shoot me straight?
It's all about you. I was just a tiny little bit busy running for president, and think I was like put on military duty for a little while in response to things happening here in Hawaii. So anyway, I'm really glad that this finally happened. So thank you for inviting me and for being patient.
No, and I appreciate it, and I'm glad that you've come on the show. And listen, here's one thing that I think is important. Like, I disagree with you on a lot of policies. There are probably, if you were running in my district, they're like, listen, I can't because of where we disagree. But I think that you have been at the forefront of understanding the problem with big tech and with the complications that are coming into play there. So I'll go to our backstory in a little bit, but can you explain to people what it is that you think, or I guess what the biggest threat is right now from big tech to free speech, and of course expect to be called a Russian asset in Ceylon after this?
Been there, done that, buddy.
Yeah.
The Russian asset stuff is dumb, though. I don't know why it is with the mainstream media. They want to call everybody a Russian asset, but I mean, she's not, or an Assad apologist. You know what I mean? Like, they get a little stupid with it, especially when it comes to Tulsi. But a lot of these criticisms are valid at this point. I mean, the new criticisms, not the old one.
I mean, really what this gets to the heart to is the threat to free speech. And so I think this is where it is so important, especially right now during these crazy and divisive times. Let's see where people like you and I can agree. And fundamentally, as Americans, we agree in our constitutional right to free speech. And when you have you have these big tech monopolies essentially deciding who has a voice and who doesn't in these virtual public town squares that they've created. But you also have people in great positions of power in our government for partisan or political reasons trying to decide who gets to be heard and who doesn't, just further inflaming the divisiveness and really truly undermining our constitutional rights and that definition of who we are as a country and who we are as Americans. And
where in the Constitution does it say Twitter cannot ban somebody for violating their TOS? I would love for someone to point that out to me. I would argue that the opposite would be true, that you controlling what a private company can do on their platform would be more against, would be more of a violation of that company's rights than the other way around. Especially given it depends what they're banning them for. If you're outright lying or if you're harassing people and bullying people, which that's the arguments I've seen from conservative. The first big one was, oh, well, if I have to call a trans person, a trans woman, a man, or a man, whatever, whatever they want to do, like if that's bullying, and I guess whatever, I'm gonna bully people because that doesn't agree with my philosophy. It's like, okay, well, you can't just misgender people on purpose over and over and over again, and then bring mobs of people over from your follower count to misgender these people. We can't do that. That's just part of our rules. There's you can't harass people. And then the same thing with the election misinformation. I mean, it's not like one time you're doing it, some kind of like accident. It's repeatedly over and over and over again spreading misinformation or disinformation about a certain topic, and that gets you banned. I mean, it wasn't like they just did it to Joe Schmo. They did it to people like Sidney Powell, who are now getting sued for billions of dollars because they spread misinformation.
And that's really where when we look at big tech and their ability to essentially act with impunity,
right,
to do whatever they want, and making billions of dollars in the process, it speaks to the very dangerous place that we are as a country, and why we all need to come together as Americans and point this out, whether I like what you're saying or you like what I'm saying or not.
Right. What do you think about them all coming together to remove, then President Donald Trump? I mean,
yeah,
I think
it's
yeah,
it is exactly one of the major indicators of how dangerously powerful these big tech monopolies have become. And I thought it was very appropriate that we saw other heads of states from other countries around the world saying, hey, this is really, really dangerous, and it's something that shouldn't happen. Again, whether you agree or disagree with what he said or what other people are saying, we have very clear guidelines laid out in our Constitution, and big tech does not get to be the decider of who has a...
Again, please tell me where it says in the Constitution. Like, I don't... What is the line then? What like, there's got to be some line, right? Because you don't want... Is it just no rules? Just no rules. Like, what is the cutoff point? If you have 100 million daily users, do you not have freedom to do what you want with your company? Like, what's the cutoff? I'm all for breaking up big tech, but not for these ridiculously dumb reasons. Like what's the cutoff here? At what point? I mean, Telegram censored QAnon people the other day because they got all upset. Like the people in the forums did, like the mods or whatever, censored the people in the forums because this was during the inauguration. After the inauguration and Biden got sworn in, people were very upset, and they were, calling for this, that, and the other, and people in that group censored them. Well, okay, what? So is that okay? Because they were calling for, very bad things that I don't want to say because I might get, whatever, flagged. So is that okay for them to do it at that point? Like, what is the cutoff? Like, where there's got to be some line, right? Or is it just no line? Like, I want like specifics. You can't just say, oh, this is an attack on our freedom of speech and big tech doesn't get to decide. It's like, okay, well, I need a plan. I need you to lay out a detailed plan of what you think should be done, not just spew the same talking points over and over again. Otherwise, you're just saying shit to say shit. Like, there's never a plan that comes with these talking points. It's just like, oh, this is ridiculous that big tech gets to decide who has a voice. It's like, oh, I guess, okay, man. Like, you gotta have a plan, though.
Who doesn't.
Right. Well, that's the issue, too. My biggest issue with Republicans is, we talk about 230, and it comes down to, I would like to see the first step being big tech. I'm tired of the pageantry and the hearings and Senator Hirono, I know, Hirono, asking for me to be removed from a private company, in which case it's no longer the free market, actively asking for me to be removed from YouTube. That's surreal to see senators being like, Steven Crowder needs to be removed. Like, have you watched this? It's like, we're the ones who did change my mind, and we tell wiener jokes. Like, this is absurd. If you remove me, you remove all conservatives. I think they kind of know that, and that's what the goal is.
They always hide it behind comedy. Everything Steven Crowder does is very calculated and detailed. He's not just some wacky guy just goofing around. Like, I hate when they play that card, especially this guy, because he tries to hide it behind, oh, we're just some comedians telling some jokes. Like, no, this is very calculated propaganda.
But nothing was done from Republicans. And now you see, and this is something where I think a lot of people feel they maybe don't identify with the Democrat Party. It seems like everyone in positions of power right now in the Democrat Party support stifling opinions they don't like on big tech platforms.
Yeah, and this is what's dangerous is as they're looking at so-called reform, they're not really looking in the right places. You know, when people go and actually look at Section 230, the fix is actually quite simple, where you just change the line where it says essentially big tech has the authority to remove objectionable content. How much more vague can you get than that? Objectionable to who or for what reason? But then the thing that comes after that is the most troubling part. It says whether it is constitutional or not.
Right.
And how that got into our nation's laws and policies is beyond me. But that you just change that line and take out that part about whether it's constitutional or not. And then you point to, okay, big tech, there's precedents here, decades of precedents. Make your decisions based on the constitutional precedents of free speech and protected speech.
Whether they're a platform or they are a publisher. I mean, that's what people, no one gets mad that the New York Times writes an op-ed that they disagree with. The issue is when you are being treated by the government as an open platform, and I think it's pretty clear, when they all the same day remove, at that point, I guess the day after being a sitting president. I don't remember the exact day or timeline. Either way, I think it's pretty crappy. And here's one thing, too, that I want to throw to a clip from a little bit, a while ago, maybe about a year ago. Listen, I didn't have a dog in the fight in the Democratic primary, okay? I liked you of them, but I didn't want to run because I thought you could win. So I apologize for that. So I was like, I think Tulsi could be a problem for Trump. So I didn't want to highlight this, but the issue was after you had some impressive debate. This has totally occurred organically. After you had some impressive debate performances, and we saw people searching for your name a whole lot more. You know, my kind of strong suit is YouTube, and I was looking for some clips from the debate, and I couldn't find them. And that forced me to do a bit of a deeper dive. And this is how we came to be in contact with you. For people who don't remember, we used VPNs. And let former me explain exactly what happened. When we set our VPN to a non-United States country, and we searched for Tulsi Gabbard, her channel and the videos from her channel all showed up first. Yet again, when we switched our searches to the United States, however, nothing. Exclusively in the United States, the country in which she is currently running for president, you would receive no results from Tulsi Gabbard's channel or her videos until scrolling past the first page. Here's a video screen recording, and just in case people try to say that we've doctored it. And by the way, let me just say really quickly, I started that from home using
I will say one thing though, especially like mainstream media and to an extent, big tech companies, they do need to be reformed, but it's not for the reasons that they are stating, because in a way they did, and they especially, like, this has been talked about by, God, I can't remember. Somebody did a report on Andrew Yang and how basically big media fucked him over. They did the same thing with Tulsi. Like, there is issues with the system. It's just not the issues that conservatives are pointing out. But, I mean, there is things that need to be reformed because, I think Tulsi could have had a little bit of a better showing had, there was definitely like an organized, organized, but they all kind of, like, she was deemed as not serious. So, therefore, they did not give her the, the coverage she deserved, even though people like Cory Booker and even Kamala Harris, who were doing worse in polling at certain points, got way more respect from big media than she did or Andrew Yang did. Even though they probably shouldn't have, as far as the polling went.
ExpressVPN, and then they ultimately became a sponsor. So people can go to expressvpn.com/Crowder and you get 3 months free. That's what we did. We used a VPN to search you in other countries. And here's the thing, Tulsi, when we spoke with some people, powers that be, they said, well, that's just what happens no matter what as far as channels showing up. It still doesn't explain the differential between why you would show up in any country that's not the United States while actively running for president. Did you get any answers on that?
And it's not only while actively running for president, but like you said, when you open this, in that first debate, and I believe the second debate.
I think something happened around, I can't remember though. I feel like I remember something happening in Tulsi sued Google or something. There was something going on around her name in the searches, because I know she was like the most searched candidate after the first 2 debates. I can't remember exactly what it was. I mean, fuck, that was almost 2 years ago at this point. But something happened during that time, but I can't remember what it was.
Possibly others to follow. I was the most searched candidate of the night. And so one would think that would kind of push some results up, say, hey, everybody's looking for information on this individual. Let's make it available to them.
Works, though.
But in fact, that was not the case, as you just pointed out. And that was something that you know, I
a lot of what with YouTube, especially, a lot of YouTube videos have to do with how you do your keyword research in your own videos. Like, that's another reason I just don't like YouTube, is because there's so many different metrics that you have to know about and understand. Like when I tag a video, I have to kind of go through, because I'm a smaller content creator, I have to go through and put like certain key phrases and keywords I think people are going to search for to make my content pop up. And seeing as Tulsi is relatively obscure, other media organizations and other things that talk about her will show up before she does. Kind of like, you know, my Fall of the Cabal videos, even though it's the only thing on YouTube that is Fall of the Cabal debunk. When you type in Fall of the Cabal debunk, it's not the first thing that shows up. It shows other mainstream media sources and things talking about QAnon, things like that, because they just get priority in the algorithm. I mean, this ain't 2014 YouTube. It just, big media has priority, and especially if you're not a well-known name, like, other things are always going to show up before you do. That's just, especially if you don't do really good keyword research.
I was not aware of what you did until after you announced it. But what we saw on our side was, you know, as we went into that debate night, obviously I had hoped that people would be interested. A lot of people didn't know who I was and say, hey, okay, who is she? What's she about? Let me go search and learn more about her. So, you know, we had our Google ad account set up, and we had everything so that people would be able to see the information that we were trying to share. And shortly after we learned I was the most searched candidate, magically our Google Ads account was canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Without explanation.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Without any direction, saying, hey, fix this and then we'll put it back up. It was suspended, and we were working the phones and the emails. We were trying to figure out, hey, what's going on here? How do we get this back up? Because this is a pretty critical time for our campaign. And it was.
That's why she didn't show up in the thing, because the Google ad account got suspended. Okay, now I remember.
It wasn't until sometime later that it was magically restored once again without any explanation or really any response whatsoever. So
yeah. That is rough. Yeah. And I think there are 2 reasons that you were the most searched. I remember on one night, first off, you went after Vice President Kamala Harris like a spider monkey on crack. You were vicious. And I think it doesn't hurt.
That's quite a description.
Yes. And I don't think it's out of, and I don't know that you are, I'm a married man. You're a fetching lady. I mean, especially, you know, next to people like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, I think, you know, it helps that you're fine. I hope that doesn't offend you.
Oh, God. Oh my God. How cringe was that? Jesus, you can't just say she's attractive. Like, just, what? Oh, he's so weird, man. Why are you wearing a gun belt? Why are you such a weird person?
I'm a happily married woman too. We're
okay,
all good.
And my wife is also fine. But I mean, just compared to, you know, Joe Biden. So but I remember that's why we were searching for you. And like I said, I would have every vested interest. Look, if I want to run against the weakest opponent, I thought, okay, you know, someone like a Warren. And I said, the people who could be a problem could be a Tulsi Gabbard or maybe Yang, but you know. So it changed a little bit until he got all memey.
No, but the reason. Yeah. The reason for that, though, is actually a really important one, and you're absolutely not the first person I've heard that from some of my friends on the Republican side during that campaign, saying exactly that same thing, because they saw what we were doing, which was actually a beautiful thing when you take a step back from the electoral politics, which was I was bringing people from across the political ideological spectrum together. My town halls, we had everybody from Bernie Sanders supporters to red hat, Trump MAGA hat wearing Trump supporters.
Okay, you said red hat. I thought you were about to say red hair. I was like, you got to boot those people.
No. And having very respectful, open discussions and conversations. Not everybody saying kumbaya, we all agree on everything by any means, but coming together in that spirit of saying we love our country. And we want to work together to be able to do some good things.
In the background.
And that was, I think, the threat that not only people like you may have seen, but also some people in the Democratic Party probably saw.
Well, I saw it as a threat politically, meaning like, okay, Democrat, Republican at this point.
Yeah.
But I saw it as someone like yourself as good for the country. And so I have to get past myself. And as someone, for example, who does change my mind, as someone who's had people, I mean, I've had, but we just talked about imams on the show who actively used my show to call for my death live on air. And I was like, ooh, we maybe should cut his microphone. But I didn't. I let him speak his piece. And we've had everyone from far left to centrist to right on this show. It doesn't mean you have to agree, but you need to have a conversation. I think Gerald Morgan has a question for you, if you can bring him in there.
All right. Can you hear me? My mic unmuted?
Stop wasting her time. She's busy.
Sorry. So you brought up a really good point. You said that Google took you down, didn't really say anything about how you did it.
They
Facebook
took down her ads.
Her ads, right.
And keep in mind, too, they were taking down her ads while we were running the searches, and you couldn't find her organically.
Exactly.
That's just so corrupt.
That's Google, that's YouTube. We've had Facebook issues. These companies seem to be acting with impunity, and we've given the Republicans a hard time for not.
Keep in mind, the guy bitching about big tech censorship is the #1 independent media channel on YouTube. Steven Crowder is the #1, 5.21 million subs, is the #1 independent media channel on YouTube. He's bitching about big tech censorship. 1 million people have watched this video, and it came out yesterday. But he's being censored.
Doing more about it. Are there any people on your side of the aisle that have the same concerns that you do about this? So is there any hope for this changing if the Democrats are in control?
There's a lot of talk, and this has been the problem, is that when it is people who feel like they are being targeted, then they start to speak up about it. So we've heard a lot of talk. We've had a lot of these fancy hearings. But when it comes down to the kind of change that we're talking about here today, I don't see it, to be quite honest. They're talking about making some other changes that I think would probably move.
All right, it seems to be about the end of it there. But yeah, anyway, so I don't know. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, honestly. I thought there's going to be a lot more shitting on the left. But I don't know. I don't know why she's rallying around these right-wing issues so hard right now. Like, where's the Tulsi that was pushing for health care and paying off student loans and stimulus packages and like things that people actually need, infrastructure? Like, that was the Tulsi that I liked. I liked the little bit of a firebrand, willing to push back, because we don't have enough of that. Bernie doesn't do it enough. He's more of just a straight policy guy. But Tulsi was able to actually push back on the Democratic establishment. But now she's turned into this, like, she latches onto these she takes these right-wing framing, she does like a right-wing framing of a lot of these issues now, and I just don't understand it. Like, it's one thing to go on Steven Crowder's show, but then not to actually push for anything that's helpful at all. Just saying, oh, that big tech is destroying our country and taking away everyone's free speech. It's just garbage. It's like, on the list of things that I'm worried about, like, that's very, very far down the list. But that seems to be, like, that's what she's worried about. And then other things she was worried about was, like, ballot harvesting. And she spread a lie with PragerU about Ilhan Omar that happened to be false and was a whole big setup by Project Veritas. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the direction she's gone in. But anyway, while you guys are here, if you could like the stream, I really, really appreciate it. Also, join the Discord. And all the links to all my social media are down in the description. Subscribe to me on Twitch if you want to. because that would be awesome. And also, if you want to support me on Patreon, I'm thinking about starting. I'm got to do something for my Patreon people because I really, really appreciate you guys. Other than the extra content and the shout outs and stuff. But I think I'm going to start doing maybe like an extra video or like a podcast type thing once a week, just for Patreon. And really trying to work on that. I've been given like driving lessons, so that's been kind of screwing with the doing more content. Trying to keep that rolling, keep some income coming in. Maybe she's doing a Candace Owens. She ain't going there. Join Discord and Twitch. Where we go one, we go. Yeah, let's adopt. Yeah, we should steal the where we go one, we go all. That'll be our community thing. Yeah, the Discord's dope. And we're almost at 100 members, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm learning how to do more shit in it, so that's always good. I don't know why, for some reason, the chat is not scrolling over here, just on the thing. Also, if you join Twitch, you get these cool emojis. Whee! I mean, if you subscribe. Full of excellent. Yeah, I put a lot of different info in the Discord server. I try to put stuff in there every day. Sometimes I forget, but I'm gonna try to start putting stuff in there every day. And if you guys find stuff too, I mean, feel free to add there. The only thing you guys can't post in is just an announcement for my content. But other than that, you can share your Q stories. You know, I feel like that's a good way just for people to like, you know, talk about it. If you have a family member that's unfortunately fallen into that shit, like sometimes sharing your story and talking about it with people, that can always help. I just joined the Discord today. Awesome sauce. Yeah, I mean, gives everybody a place to chat offline, and also you can chat on the stream from the Discord too. But I don't know. Should we check in on the impeachment one more time? See what's going on. What's going on here?
To preside can refer only to the sitting president.
I bet you there's some maybe some good stuff on Twitter. Maybe some highlights. Not much, doesn't seem like. What is this movie's doing here? What what is that? Is it the old hold the head and tip her back? You know, you guys know that move, don't you? God, Joe Rogan is short. What's going on here? Good morning to the man.
And in fact believe that life begins at birth. Before the 1970s, your church did not care about abortion and in fact believed that life begins at birth. And while I do not think that a bunch of Jesus worshipers should have a fucking thing to say about health care when it's not their own bodies, at least that position was consistent with your scripture. But the minute y'all couldn't segregate a fucking school, you needed another issue to keep maintaining your political clout. You don't think that there are any babies dying in there. You're not stupid people, but you are deceptive and dishonest people. You are people who should be ashamed of yourselves because your lie affects these patients. You are terrorizing them. Why the fuck do you think we need to be out here? In a city full of work that actually needs to be done, we're wasting our time defending people from you because y'all are menacing them.
I agree with everything that guy had to say. Awesome. Hells yeah. I'm really curious how this will shape up. Yeah, I think was liberal humor. David Fieldman. I think I've heard of him before. Yeah, I'm curious to see. I want to see. I don't know. After today, I gotta check. I don't know exactly how the impeachment thing is set. I want to watch more of it when. I mean, just today. I feel like the whole argument today is pretty much worthless. It's definitely constitutional to finish impeaching a president. I don't think there's any argument there, and I think it's just pointless to listen to a bunch of guys talk about how in 1776 this was stated in Federalist Paper 23. It's like, okay, it's like, dude, we got it. We know. And yeah, I don't know. Man, I just have too sort of an attention span. TikTok has ruined my attention span, I believe. So if I'm not interested the entire time, I just have to click off. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that with my content. Like, I just get bored super easily. But yeah, okay. I think we've covered enough for one day. Little bit of an earlier stream. I think I'm gonna go back to. I wanted to. I don't know. I might switch up with doing some earlier ones here and there, but most of the time, I'm just gonna do them at 7 o'clock ish for the most part. But yeah, definitely be back streaming tomorrow, 7 o'clock ish, probably 7 Central. Depending on what happens with the impeachment thing, maybe I'll stream a little earlier. Who knows? Yeah. Brooklyn Dad, I follow him on Twitter. Yeah. But yeah. You know what's a good podcast to check out is the what is it called? They had Frederick Brennan on there. Reply All. Reply All is a good podcast. They did a good episode on Q. But yeah, anyway, if you guys could like the stream on the way out, I'd really appreciate it. Anybody that hasn't. And yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you join the Discord, follow me on Twitch, all that jazz, and yeah, see you next time. Probably I might make a video later on impeachment highlights, try to put that out, or at least some TikToks or whatever. I'll have updates to come. But yeah, thanks so much, guys, and appreciate y'all as always. Peace out.